Welcome back to the School of Law. Today we are looking at the Limitation Act 1980 in the UK in a question and answer format to get a better understanding. What is the Limitation Act 1980? The Limitation Act 1980 sets strict time limits within which civil actions must be brought to court in England and Wales. Once the limitation period expires, the claim becomes statute barred, meaning the court cannot grant a remedy. Why was the Limitation Act introduced? The Act was introduced to promote certainty and finality, protect defendants from stale claims, encourage claimants to act promptly, prevent injustice caused by lost evidence, balance fairness between both parties. Key points: limitation usually bars the remedy, not the rights, except in land cases. When does the limitation period start running? Time generally starts when the cause of action accrues, meaning when all elements of the claim exist and the claimant could first have sued. Examples: contract, when the breach occurs; tort, when damage occurs; land, when adverse possession begins. What are the limitation periods for contract claims? Simple contracts is 6 years from breach. See section 5. Contract by deed is 12 years from breach. See section 8. What about limitation periods in tort? General torts like negligence or nuisance, 6 years from the date of damage. See section 2. Time runs from damage, not the wrongful act. What is the limitation period for personal injury claims? 3 years, covered under section 11 and 14. Time runs from the date of injury or the date of knowledge, whichever is later. Date of knowledge means when the claimant knows. The injury is significant. It was caused by the defendant. The identity of the defendant is also known. Court may disapply limitation if it is equitable under section 35. What is the limitation period for defamation? 1 year under section 4A. Exceptions are very rare and strictly controlled. What is the limitation period for actions to recover land? 12 years under sections 15 to 17. Unregistered land, after 12 years, adverse possession, the owner's title is extinguished. Registered land, rules are modified by the Land Registration Act 2002. How does adverse possession relate to limitation? Unregistered land, 12 years, extinguishes the paper ownership title. Registered land, ownership is not automatically lost due to the LRA 2002 framework. How does limitation apply to trust? No limitation for fraudulent breach of trust or recovery of trust property. See section 21. 6 years for other breaches of trust. What happens in cases of fraud, concealment, or mistake? Under section 32, time does not run until the claimant discovers or could reasonably have discovered the fraud, concealment, or mistake. This protects innocent claims from hidden wrongdoing. How does disability affect limitation? Limitation is suspended when the claimant is under 18 years of age, lacks mental capacity. Time begins to run once the disability ends. See section 28. What is acknowledgement and part payment? The limitation period will start if the defendant acknowledges the debt in writing, makes part payment. This commonly arises in debt and contract claims. See sections 29 to 30. Does limitation apply to equitable remedies? Yes, often by analogy. Additionally, delay may trigger lashes, which can bar equitable relief. How does limitation operate in a defense? It must be pleaded by the defendant. If successful, the claim is barred. The court has no jurisdiction to grant relief. Why is the Limitation Act important in land law? It is crucial or critical for adverse possession, boundary disputes, recovery of land, and title disputes. It works alongside the LPA 1925 and LRA 2002. What are the advantages of the Litigation Act? It promotes legal certainty. It protects defendants. It encourages timely litigation and reduces court's backlog. What are the criticisms of the Act? It can produce harsh outcomes, complex rules across claims, heavy reliance on judicial discretion, can bar innocent claimants unaware of breaches. What is the key takeaway? The Limitation Act 1980 balances fairness and certainty through strict time limits. In land law, it may extinguish rights, while in other areas it bans remedies. Understanding the exception is crucial for both practice. Thank you.